We ball. Competition, where you at? I ain't seeing y'all. While y'all dreaming about your future, hoping that you make it. My dreams are coming true with hard work and dedication. Making preparations for passing all expectations. My reputation's leaving other encounters vacant. Averaging double-doubles by hitting all triples. The crown through the wave, you barely get it.
Welcome to freakjumping.com and your free instant vertical jump video series starting today. My name's Adam Lincoln. I was a 7-time ACC champion high jumper, ACC champion track coach, and 2009 Powerade National Dunk Champion. And I'm here to help you jump higher today. In our past videos that we've put out, believe it or not, our last video had something like 150,000 views and a 99% success rate. And that was on YouTube. So think about, you know, people on YouTube just go and dislike videos all the time. So that's a huge success rate. That means that all of those people were jumping higher using these tips. And I'm going to show you 3 brand new tips that are going to take your vertical to an all new level. Let's hop into the video right now and get you started.
Okay, my goal here is to get through this video quick so you can use this information right now and go jump higher. So first, let's talk about our 1-foot jump instant tips. I have some examples here of what not to do, and I'm going to tell you how to fix them. First, we have stutter guy. If you notice right there, Coach Rock, our demonstrator, has a ton of stutter steps in his approach. Let's take another look at it. And what stutter stepping does, and what it means, is number one, it means that your mind is telling your body, hey, I'm not comfortable. And in order to fix that, and let me just make it clear, you will never jump your highest if your mind and your body aren't on that same wavelength. If your mind's telling your body, hey, this isn't comfortable, I don't feel right, you're not going to jump high, so do not jump off of that. Don't waste your energy. Fix the problem. In order to fix that, we have to find what's called our MCV, our maximum controlled velocity. And all that means is we have to practice our approach to get rid of those different things like stutter steps. And we need to make sure our approach is slow to fast, and acceleration, and not a deceleration. So and the second part, what that means is if you are doing this stutter stepping, typically that means you're running on your toes and you're not in a dorsiflex setting. What dorsiflexion is, it's when you bring your toes up towards your shin and you have a flat parallel to the ground bottom of your foot. It's almost like when you ride a bicycle, when you run. And what that does, that opens up your foot to have the most explosive region to jump off of, and that's the balls of your foot, that area, but it's in a tight, explosive takeoff instead of a loose on your toes. When you hit your toes, it's very giving and slow. When you're in a dorsiflex state, it's more explosive. So that's stutter step guy. Let's take one more look at stutter step guy. Alright, yeah, see how he's on his toes there? We do not want that. Next, we have crazy forward lean dude who goes fast to slow. Crazy forward lean. Notice right there, Coach Rock. Notice how his chest and his body are already in front of his legs. What that typically means is, I want you to think about when you jump. If you were to jump with your chest and head out in front of your feet, there's no way you can possibly jump vertical. You want that head and that chest to be right directly under your hips, and that knee and that front leg out in front of you. So when you take off, you can take everything vertical and not forward. Okay, so let's take a look at that. See how his chest is out in front of him? He tries to fix it at the end, but it doesn't go very well for him. Next, we have fast to slow bro with a long last 2 steps. Now, what this is when Coach Rock here is demonstrating how his approach, remember how we said that your approach needs to be an acceleration and not a deceleration? This is what a deceleration looks like. Notice how every step actually gets slower. He's leaning forward, which we don't want, and every step gets slower to where his last 2 steps are actually his slowest steps. That's a big no-no. If your last 2 steps are your slowest steps, you are never going to jump nearly as high as you want. So make sure that your last 2 steps are your quickest, and your shortest, not your slowest and your longest. Next, we have double gear guy. And what I mean by this you can't see as well in slow motion, so we'll watch it in fast motion a couple times. Notice how Coach Rock here has 2 gears. A gear for his approach and then a gear when he's getting ready to jump. So there's gear 1 and boom, there's gear 2. What I mean by gears, I mean 2 different speeds. Like if he was if you ever driven a motorcycle or a car, you notice when the car changes gear and speeds up. Boom, that's rock speeding up. We do not want that. We want a smooth takeoff. If you do that gear change, what that's going to do is it's not going to let your mind feel control. It's not going to let your body feel control. Because it's too sporadic. It's not normal. It's not smooth. The smoother your approach, the higher your vertical will be. That's why when you see great jumpers, they always have very, very good approaches and they're smooth. Coach Rock decells at his takeoff, and that's why that jump wasn't very good. Now this is just Coach Rock doing it right this time and being a beast because of it. You notice how he stays tall. His chest is not in front of his legs. He's actually staying tall. His chest is up above his hips, and his knees are out in front of him on his approach. Every step speeds up. It's an acceleration. It's not a deceleration. He could have a little more knee drive. I prefer if his knee was up here and he could have used his arms a little better. But that's okay because Coach Rock is actually not a 1-foot jumper. He is a 2-foot jumper, which we're actually going to talk about next. So I hope you enjoyed this 1-foot tutorial. Okay, let's go over some 1-foot jump fixes that we talked about in the video of Coach Rock. First of all, during our early approach, we do not allow sporadic speed changes, okay? We have 1 speed, and that's slow to fast, okay? We do not have gears, we have 1 speed, slow to fast. We accelerate, we never decelerate. Next, we never stutter step. Remember, if you're the stutter step guy, that needs to be fixed. You are losing valuable inches on your vertical jump just by stutter stepping because it just 100% knocks you off of a controlled velocity, a controlled speed. If you stutter step, that is your mind telling your body that, hey, this doesn't feel right. And you need to make sure that your mind and your body are on that same wavelength if you want to jump your highest. That's why we are looking for that smooth, controlled MCV. During our middle of our approach, we need to make sure we never decelerate. Deceleration is the biggest key to why athletes aren't jumping as high as they can. They start off too fast and they end too slow. We never slow down. Next, we talked about dorsiflexion, keeping those toes pointed towards our shins. That is our dorsiflexion. We run on the balls of our feet, okay? Not the heels, not the toes. We run on the balls of our feet. That gives us the most impact pad for our takeoff, okay? When I say impact pad, that's where if you dorsiflex your foot right now and you push off the ground, that area that hits the ground right there under the ball of your foot, that is going to be your takeoff pad. That's where you can get the most force. Next, for your takeoff, you need to make sure that your last 2 steps are fast and explosive, okay? As well as part of the acceleration. And we need to make sure we do not drop our hips. A lot of athletes make that mistake if they try to speed up their last 2 steps. They drop their hips in order to get that last step down. You need to make sure your hips stay tall the entire time. Now let's go over and we'll watch some video on 2-foot jumps, and then we'll do a similar explanation. So I'll see you over there. Alright, here we go with 2-foot jumps. First, we have the non-aggressive guy. So let's replay that. Non-aggressive guy. And what you're going to notice is non-aggressive guys going fast to slow, which is the biggest mistake if you're a 2-foot jumper. You must, as a 2-foot jumper, you're going to notice a significant loss of vertical if you go fast to slow. You must always go slow to fast, especially as a 2-foot jumper. So he's going fast to slow. And look how he jumps forward and not up because he loses all control because he's not being aggressive. Next, we have the return of the stutter step guy. Look at stutter step guy. Getting those stutters in. Same concept as our 1-foot. And wow, he lost control when he jumped. Same concept as our 1-foot. If you stutter step, your mind's telling your body, hey, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel in control. And as well as you're not dorsiflexed, your ankles are not dorsiflexed, so you're running on your toes. So you're not going to be in control if you're running on your toes. You're not going to be explosive if you're running on your toes. You need to run and jump in a dorsiflexed setting. So if you're a stutter step guy, you must concentrate on getting this fixed ASAP because you could jump instantly 3, 4, 5, 6 plus inches higher just by fixing this issue. So there's stutter step guy. Notice his chest is out in front of his feet there. Notice when his jumps, what happens when his chest is out in front of his feet. He jumps forward, not up. Alright, now we have really crappy takeoff, dude. And this is what we're going to talk about with our chest being out in front of our feet. Notice his chest here. Notice how his head and his chest are out in front of his legs. And look where he's jumping. Notice his head and chest are finally, his legs are trying to catch up, but they're not catching up. And he's jumping forward and not vertical. If you're jumping forward and not vertical, that is all momentum that you have lost that could have been going vertical. And instead you're using it to go horizontal. And this is just Coach Rock doing a natural jump for him, which is really good technique. You can see how well he uses his arms, how explosive he is, and how he is a super freak because he has a powerful takeoff, chest is behind the feet, and that, my friends, is what we call a very, very good 2-foot jump technique. Now, you can see a big difference there with how Coach Rock just hops up there. You know, his 5'10" butt hops up there and grabs the rim with 2 hands like it's nothing. Controlled aggression. Notice how controlled and aggressive he is on this approach. He is controlled, he's accelerating, he is taking off, and that's a great, great jump. Okay, for 2-foot jump fixes, we need to concentrate on our early approach, our mid approach, and our takeoff, just like 1 foot. For early approach, we need to make sure that we have an aggressive MCV. We don't have to worry so much about a sporadic run-up because a 2-foot jump is typically more, it's typically less steps and more explosive than a 1-foot jump in the sense of the length. Typically a 2-foot jump is shorter, so therefore less steps. So I'm going to go ahead and come to the assumption that it's going to be a little more explosive than your typical 1-foot takeoff, which is longer. Next, we never stutter step. Okay, we cannot stutter step. That's again, that just tells your mind, and that's just that's your mind's way of telling you, hey, or your mind telling your body, hey, we're not on the same wavelength. We need to get there so we can jump high. So never jump when you're stutter stepping. That's a big no-no. Middle approach, we need to concentrate on deceleration. We cannot do it. We must, especially on a short approach like a 2-foot jump, you must be accelerating at all times, just like you saw Coach Rock do. If you're decelerating, then you definitely are losing a lot of inches on your vertical, as well as with your dorsiflexion. If you're not staying dorsiflex and you are not getting an explosive takeoff, we talked about our track pad, or our explosive pad that we take off of in our 1-foot jump. Same deal with 2-foot. We need to make sure that we're taking off from that dorsiflexed ankle position. For takeoff, we need to concentrate again on our last 2 steps. When it comes to 2-foot jumpers, a lot of 2-foot jumpers have good approaches because typically they're better than 1-foot because they're shorter. And a lot of athletes can kind of figure out a good 2-foot approach. Not a great one, but a good one. But the problem is always the last 2 steps. They always decelerate into their last 2 steps, which is a big, big problem that costs a lot of inches. And what that also does is that messes up what I call your core transfer. And during a 2-foot jump, when you think you plant, and you know that feeling where your chest is just wanting to point at the ground because everything's just falling forward because of your horizontal speed that you're bringing to your jump. In other words, that run up, that approach you're bringing to your jump. When you go to plant your last 2 steps to take off, everything pushes forward. Okay, that's your core transfer, and that's what we really concentrate on with jump technique, is using your core transfer to take everything vertical instead of directly in front of you or horizontal. So again, for early approach, non-aggressive, you need to have an aggressive MCV, no stutter stepping. Middle approach, you cannot decelerate. You need to stay dorsiflexed and take off. Last 2 steps need to be fast and no deceleration. And your core transfer must hold up and be strong and quick, not slow and giving, so to speak. So those are your tips. I hope you enjoyed them.
Well, there you have it. Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to take the information you just learned in this video, go out right now, go out today and put it to action. I want you to go to your court right now and use this information to jump higher. Then here's what I want you to do. I want you to come back to this page. Right below, I want you to click the like button so people can understand that this video is legit. Then I want you to comment below. And I want you to say, number 1, how many inches did you gain using this information so our entire community knows how much higher you're jumping. And then I want you to do something fun. I want you to tag 3 of your friends who are basketball players and let them know. Say, hey, I can jump higher than you, okay? So number 1, come back, like this page. Number 2, comment below with how many inches you gained using this video. And number 3, tag 3 of your friends and let them know that you can jump higher than them. I'm going to pick a random winner below, and you're going to get an incredible, incredible free gift that's going to help you jump even higher. In the next video, I'm going to bring in some professional jumpers and dunkers who I have video of and break down their jumping technique. And on top of that, I'm going to scour YouTube. I'm going to go all over YouTube and find jumpers just like you who put out dunk videos and jumping videos, and I'm going to go over their entire technique and teach them as well as you how they can jump higher, and you can put this information to action as well. I'll see you in a couple days with that video.